have all heard that we have an obligation to reuse, repurpose, and recycle. As a design industry, we have embraced this obligation and often build new things that can be reused one day. But instead, we think we should take the resources that we have right now and reuse them today. We also know that 40% of the workforce will retire in the next 5 to 10 years, and that many of those folks will be replaced by future generations. The workforce will be more diverse than ever before. And there are a ton of studies on the differences between those generations. The baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, and Generation Z. There are many ways to segregate them and to make generalizations about the way we should be designing effectively for one group or another. But as we realize that they will all be in the workforce at one time, we had an idea. We thought, what if instead of designing around what's different, we design around what's the same? Because no matter what side of the generational spectrum we fall on, our motivations are the same. Just to highlight a few on a big list, things like safety, well-being, and personal connections are all common motivators. And while it's at the very bottom of the list, money is as well. In order to move forward, we took this idea and we merged it with the notion that we need to take advantage of the resources that we have. So we asked, how does all of this translate to design? Here's the big idea. Conceptually, if you co-locate multiple generations to help share knowledge, if you provide access to wellness, learning, and development for everyone, and you share resources among people, then that creates community. In order to execute this idea in our design, we've incorporated some fundamental concepts. First, we eliminated redundancy by sharing resources like break space and conference rooms and provided multi-purpose spaces. We incorporated wellness opportunities through on-site exercise and universal access to daylight reviews. We provided space to learn both in traditional training forums and also in informal ways, like being able to overhear your neighbor and what lessons they have to give. And we did all of this by reusing existing inventory, because there's a lot of inventory. We focused on office buildings built in the 1980s and found that supply was great and the general demand for these buildings in the condition they are in is low. For this project, we selected one of these buildings in Albuquerque's Uptown neighborhood, but for the sake of this conversation, this could be anywhere USA. The building is one of many office buildings surrounding a large shopping mall. The neighborhood has lots of access to transit and a ton of retail space. But while this is a desirable location and there's lots of space available, there is a lack of desirable space available. Looking closer at the site, we found that it is overparked and has a lot of untapped potential. The existing building has 7 levels of office space, netting out to approximately 87,000 square feet. The building itself exemplifies 80s era design. With that, there are a few challenges that might come up when you look at reusing and repurposing a building like this. These are things like low floor to ceiling heights, small floor plates with lots of columns, inflexible cabling network capabilities, minimal insulation, and outdated HVAC systems. But with challenge comes opportunity. For instance, there is the opportunity to utilize existing embodied energy within the structure of the building. The potential energy saved by reusing a building like this, instead of building new, is enough to fly 1 ton of cargo in a commercial airplane around the world 47 times. There's also the opportunity to densify the site by reducing parking, because often the value of these buildings is in their location. Finally, we have the opportunity to repurpose buildings like this, and that's exactly what we did. We reconcepted the building use by incorporating residential, retail, and shared amenities with office space. The result is not just a new office building, but a mixed-use micro-community with features that benefit all of the users. On the exterior, some of these features include exterior patios that offer access to the outdoors, bifacial PV modules that provide a sustainable way to power the building. There's even a multi-story walking path that gives tenants the opportunity to exercise, and a rooftop garden, which is a place to socialize. We have also incorporated features like green walls, and at the very front of the building, there is a set of digital signage to provide an additional revenue stream for the building owner. heading inside and working from the top down. Just under the rooftop garden is a full floor of residential units, the penthouse units, if you will. Levels 5 and 6 are micro-residential units, or efficiency units. Because of the amenities in the building, we felt that a micro unit would be ideal, knowing that tenants could hold events in the community kitchen or rooftop garden. Levels 3 and 4 are office space. The small building floor plate and open, flexible environment allows all workspace to have access to daylight and views. Again, these tenants have the ability to use shared amenities, so they can have smaller dedicated lease space, but would have a prorated share of the common space as well. That common space is found on level 2, along with additional tenant office space. On the left, you can see a variety of amenities, including shared conferencing and a multi-purpose space that can be used for everything from meetings to workout classes to community outreach. Locker rooms with showers are also available, along with bike storage, the community kitchen, and access to community deck space. The community kitchen for the building is one example of something called a collision space. Spaces like this offer folks an opportunity to meet accidentally and build relationships. Residential, retail, and office tenants all have access to the space, allowing people to meet who wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity. On the other side of this floor is one of the office tenant spaces. When putting together the design for this suite, we consulted with Clifton Larson Allen, a national firm. They gave us input on the accounting industry. Taking a very traditional market that we know isn't going away, we looked at ways to bridge traditional practice with the future, looking again at what's constant. We provided both open and closed workspaces, accommodating many different types of work styles. The furniture is simple and flexible, allowing different types of people to customize their work zone without requiring the purchase of new furniture. We also provided a wide variety of meeting spaces, knowing that while sometimes private meetings are necessary, often open collaborative meetings offer more opportunities for learning and innovation. On level 1, there are additional amenities accessible to both the building tenants and the community. There are a variety of retail spaces and a space for co-work. The retail space offers amenities like childcare, groceries, a coffee and wine bar, and even pet care. This mix provides both convenience for everyday necessities as well as opportunities to meet and socialize. The co-work space brings entrepreneurs and small businesses together to share resources and innovate, and it completes our tour of the interior of the building. But there is opportunity on the site as well as within the building itself. Because the site was overparked and additionally now repurposed, the site provides the opportunity for densification. In addition to the mixed-use building you just saw, there is space for additional retail and residential buildings within the same site boundaries. The potential development of these pad sites can help to offset the cost to repurpose the building. I mentioned earlier that this could be anywhere USA. Knowing that, the real excitement for this project came to us as we looked at its potential. Looking at the immediate surrounding neighborhood, there are 17 buildings directly adjacent that have the potential for similar applications. And if you take a big step out and take a look at the US as a whole, the potential exponentially increases. Approximately 50% of all the buildings in the United States today was built in the 1980s. Just imagine what could be done with this opportunity.